give us some recommendations on how people can start their cybersecurity career.
All right. So I help a lot of vets and military spouses break into cyber, right? So it's the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So even those in the military that may have done cyber or IT. So I hired a guy in Arkansas, didn't have a degree. This was 2.5 years ago. Very smart guy. Just he was like 22, just got out of the Marines. He did cyber in the Marines, couldn't find a job for months, right? Applying for jobs, not getting a phone call. Because when I was getting into IT and cyber, at least back then you could get an interview, right? Nowadays,
Right.
that's the hard part. There's two parts to getting a job. You gotta get the job offer, which the certs and the degrees and the training and the experience helps, but none of that's going to help you get an interview, right? So, because all the there's if you Google, how many jobs are posted online, there's news articles, and I don't know whether if the statistics are accurate, but all the jobs you see on LinkedIn and Indeed and all these other places, that's 20 to 30% of the jobs that get filled. Still millions of jobs, right? And there's almost a million open cyber jobs on those platforms right now. But so where's the other 70 to 80%? Well, that's a hiring manager that doesn't want to place an entry level job on LinkedIn to get 1,000 resumes in 2 days, to have to go through and to have to differentiate entry level people. So how do you do that when they all have A plus, Net plus, Security plus, or half of them have a degree, half of them are better? How do you differentiate? So, how would you differentiate yourself to 1,000 people now that all these jobs are remote? So it might happen, but your chances are very slim, right? So how do you target those other 70 to 80? It's who you know, building your network. So getting on LinkedIn and specifically targeting companies that have jobs that you want to fill, right? So I'm in Arkansas, land of Walmart, right? So if I wanted to go get a cyber job at Walmart, I want to go to LinkedIn and click on who knows how many millions of employees on LinkedIn that work at Walmart, right? Globally. So I click on that. So now I need to find stuff that connects me to some of these employees. So now as a veteran, that's really easy. You can go to past company, search for Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, Space Force, all that stuff. So now I'm targeting veterans. That gives me a connection to people that work there. Now I can start specifying. This is just marketing yourself, essentially refining who you're marketing yourself to. Because right now people just go make a bunch of connections. They're not relevant to where you want to be, so on and so forth. So if you can, and then further refine that to people in the departments that you want to work in, but it doesn't have to be. It could be HR veterans, veterans that are in HR, veterans that are, in other departments. The more you do this, the greater chances you have of Walmart, for example, having a job, and then you've met 4 people that work there, and one of them or all 4 see the job, like, hey, we know this person that would be great for this. We just need to train them. Well, now you don't have to go pay a recruiter to find somebody experienced or go through 1,000 resumes. Saves a ton of time, right? So now you've bypassed that interview process, really, or got that direct interview with the hiring manager, and depending on the company culture, how quick you can get in. Because I've been at companies that crazy long interview process, very frustrating, little communication. And then there's places like where I work at Gap Point, very easy, couple of quick interviews. Hey, you want to work here? It's very nice. Because it should be more about the person and what they're capable of, and not their experience, right? Because you can have somebody that's been doing it for 10 years and they're burned out. They don't care, they may not care anymore. So, that experience might be great, but you need to see kind of, where the person at, and culture fit's a huge thing too, but networking, that's where you're going to get the interviews. You can go get certs, you can go get degrees, all these things are great. These will increase your chances of getting a job, will increase your chances of getting an interview. Yes. I'm not saying you have to have a degree or you have to have a cert. I've hired several vets without degrees. So, and they're great at what they do. And then you want to, keep improving yourself. There's something else I was going to say there, and I lost my train of thought, but um, you can, crap, what was I going to say? Um, but yeah, the big piece is getting the job is through, or getting the interviews, through networking, through, and again, don't do it alone, because it's not, there's plenty of jobs out there. It's not competition. So don't be afraid to tell your buddy about this job too. You can apply for the same job. Maybe you both get an interview. Maybe you can relay information, because if your buddy gets the job, then the next job opening, he'll probably get you the job, right? It help each other. There's for every relationship, whether that's business to business, person to person, there's an opportunity to work together for you both to benefit, to give to each other, not to be worried about competition, right? Or worried about, losing something because they might gain something, celebrate their success, right? If, what you want will come. Just don't quit. Don't give up, right? So sorry, I lost my train of thought there and all that, but yeah, that's kind of the next steps I would take if you're wanting to really break into cyber. But it is good to have at least a networking background, because with cybersecurity, if you're breaking into something, if you don't know how to, if you're going somewhere and you don't know how to read a map or use GPS, it's going to be really hard to get there, right? Really frustrating. So during a pen testing engagement, you don't have unlimited time. You're very limited on time, actually, compared to the environment usually. So if you don't know how to read the network and go from A to B to C to Z, you're going to waste your time and the client's money. So at least having, not saying you got to go be a network person for 10 years or anything like that. Just understand the fundamentals of IT and what you're breaking into. You don't have to be a networking expert and have to go configure routers, but at least understand, how to read the map, essentially. So